Tim Wilson UK here, and welcome back to the Golf Club. And today we're going to be looking at a real screen. We are doing the Olympic Club, and more specifically we're doing the Lake Course. So I don't know an awful lot about this club or this particular course. I know it has hosted a host of US Opens. So let's just read some information from the website. So I believe this is a club that hosts or has facilities for a number of different sports, golf being one of them, but the Olympic Club was established in 1860, so it's been around for a long time. And it says the Olympic Club has long been a West Coast powerhouse in amateur sports. The club is the home of many local, regional, national and international champions and has hosted 5 US Opens. So golf at the Olympic Club says by 1922 the club had acquired enough acreage to replace the original course with 2 18-hole golf courses. Willie Watson and course superintendent Sam Whiting designed the first lake and ocean courses in 1924. Unfortunately, storm damage led Sam Whiting to redesign both courses again in 1927. The lake course remains true to the 1927 design with minimal renovations in the intervening years. Prior to the 1955 US Open, the club brought the USGA's official course architect Robert Trent Jones Sr. to toughen the lake course for competition. Now, I do believe that there is also a third course that sits on the property, which is the Cliffs course. So there is now the lakes, the ocean and the Cliffs course, and it is based in San Francisco, so you can't get much further west of the US than that. Let's jump straight into this round. I do actually have a scorecard here as well, so let's see how accurate this is. And what I've also decided I'm going to do is I'm going to work within a 20-yard rule. So I think that when I'm looking at a scorecard from the course itself and what is being represented in the game, I think anything within 20 yards is acceptable because pin placement can vary. And I think that's fair for the person that's created the course, is that if they've put the pin right at the back of the green and it's an incredibly long green, it's going to have significantly more yardage than if you place the pin right in the front of the green. So let's dive straight into this round. I did pick some real courses from a website, just to try and give myself, or to expand the list that I've got. I do have quite an extensive list that I'm working through at the moment, as you guys probably know. I think it's probably around 12 or so of these now. Not that I'm struggling to find courses, because a lot of people have taken a lot of time to recreate these courses. And it's just a matter of looking for the courses on websites, on lists of the 100 best courses, and see what has been represented or recreated in the game. This one was quite easy to find. It is quite a popular course, and we tend to find courses that have hosted majors that people particularly enjoy playing. Somebody has taken the time to recreate them. So I would imagine that this is a pretty in-depth course, because I have elected to tee off and it is yet to load up the course. The other thing I did notice is that I think it's from the ocean course to the lakes course, there are two entirely. This is definitely a well-established course. I just need to make sure I turn up the volume, so just give me a second, guys. I just need to make sure I can hear what I'm doing. There we go. We should be all good now. Sorry for that. Right, let's have a look at this from the air. Let's zoom in, have a look at this hole from the air. We start off with a par 5, so let's have a look at this on the scorecard. Currently playing 519 yards, 522, 531, so we are there or thereabouts, and as I say, it is definitely within that 531 to 522. It is definitely within that yardage range. Let's have another look at this. It's got a slight dog leg to the right. I would imagine we're probably going to be driving to around about here. It's not long as par 5s go. Looks like we've got some pretty funky design going down this fairway here. The grass has been mown at a really strange angle, but it looks like the approach shot to the green will be playing downhill. It's not, I mean, I wouldn't imagine that these bunkers here are probably going to come into play, depending on what club we're playing into this green. But we don't want to be running too long because it looks like there's a hedgerow that runs around the back of the green. So let's see if this, yeah, this isn't going to be too difficult, this tee shot. We've got 9 mile an hour behind, so that means it's going to push the ball forward quite a lot. $300, that's going to leave me probably a 3-iron into this green, maybe even a 4. It's given me a 3-iron, but we do have some yardage and we do have a tailwind here, so 210 yards, 207, less 9, 198 with the wind behind. We're definitely coming down to a 4-iron. So as I say, this, especially if you've got a tailwind, this is a relatively short par 5. I need that wind to start swinging that a little to the left because I did aim quite a lot right and it's not going to do that. Are the greens soft? Are they hard? I didn't think to check when I actually started the game up, but we'll have a look when we get this ball on the green. That's rolled on a little bit more than I anticipated it would have. Right, 16 yards into the wind. That should be good. Needs to bite. Yeah. Let's have a look at these greens now. 187. So as you'd expect, they're set up fast. Yep. In for a birdie on the first hole. They are set up fast, and I would imagine that's purely because of the fact that this is a US Open type course, so they're going to be set up pretty firm. I don't know, I mean, it looks to me that this is sort of a woodland slash parkland course. It's definitely not a links course, but so far, I mean, we're 2 holes in. I'll leave this to the till the end of the 3rd hole because I like to do a sort of an opening 3-hole review here. But it looks like there's some fantastic attention to detail. I mean, if we only just look over here and zoom out, just the attention to detail that's been put into those cart paths. A wide variety of tree selections there as well. Not too many trees. That's normally the sign of a really good course creation, is that it's a fair representation of the trees that are on the course, as opposed to just chucking a load of trees down just because there are trees there on the course. You know, sometimes 1 or 2 trees can have just as much impact as a dozen trees, so that's really good. We've got a headwind on this one now, and it is uphill, so this is going to make this, even though it is 431 yards, let's have a look at the real scorecard. 398, so this one's a little bit out of that 20-yard rule, so not quite right there, but it is playing, especially being uphill, it's playing an awful lot longer than 398. Okay, smack bang in the middle of the fairway. Let's have a look at this pin placement. Now there's a lot of bunkers on this green. And a lot of, I mean, irrespective of where you had your pin position, we've got a false front on this green by the looks of it anyway. So if you have your pin position there, it's guarded left and right. We've got the pin position there, so it's guarded front and rear. And then we've got bunkers at the back left as well. So the only place we haven't got a bunker, but then we've got a tree there. So this is going to be a tough pin to attack because you need to get this right on the money to avoid falling short into the bunker in the front or going long. Now with this headwind and the uphill, it is going to prove to be very, very difficult. We've got 181 yards. I'm going to add some yardage onto that for the wind and see if we've got this calculation right. I really wanted that wind to start bringing that back, but I think the ball was slightly above my feet. Now that is going to be pin high, just the direction was a bit wayward. Okay, we've now got a 25-foot putt, 2 inches uphill. Little bit of, I was going to say a little bit of movement on this green, but not too much. This is what I like. This is Not that I like it because it makes it easy. I like it because it's playable and it's not a stupidly difficult slope. Have to remember that these greens are fast. So that's still going to roll a little bit more oomph, and that may have actually dropped. It was tracking nicely. But that's a pass, so we draw the second hole to its conclusion. We move on to number 3, and then we'll have a little catch up after 3, and this looks like a beautiful par 3. Wow, 250 yards. Not going to be playing that, mind, because of the drop in elevation, but look how guarded this green is, and it's narrow as well. The good thing is that if you do play your ball down the throat of this green, and as I say, into this sort of fun, provided you've got enough pace, it will gradually roll round to the right due to the slope on the green. But what a great looking hole. Now we're definitely not going to be taking a 3 wood there. 250, less 15, 235, 230. You know what? I'm going to take a... Am I going to take a 3 iron? Is it going to have enough to get there? I think it is, and we only really want to get this on the green, so I think this 2 iron's going to get there. 3 iron, sorry, not 2 iron. Yeah, and it's going to get there easily. Now this should start rolling round to the right, but even a 3 iron at 207 yards has rolled out of the green. 261 yards with a 3 iron. Okay, so that shows how difficult these greens are playing. 10 yards. I mean, look at that. You can't get a more picturesque view than that, and I think that really is, excuse me, testament to the person that's actually created this course. And if anybody knows who has actually created this course, because it looks like it's been created outside of the PS4, most creators are creating at the moment on the PC. It just is easier when you're working with a keyboard and mouse to actually do the creation as opposed to using the controller. So if anybody knows who's put this course together, I would be interested to know. That came out of the rough, so that is all. It is uphill, it's 15 feet, it is swinging to the right. And that's not going to go anywhere near the hole. That was a poor putt, and I've got this for now for bogey. So that is a tough par 3. If you don't get it close, it is really going to be a tough one to pick up a par on. And that's after 3. We've got the full array of colours there: birdie, par, bogey, level, par. So far, my first impressions, I really like the course. It gives me a good impression of the location. San Francisco being, you know, it is a bay, it is a coastal course, this particular one, even though it's called the Lakes. I would imagine you're still going to be not far from the sea, from the ocean, if you're in San Francisco, and you get that impression when you're playing this course. So far so good. I'm liking it. I'm giving it a thumbs up at the minute, but we've got 15 holes to play, so let's dive straight into hole number 4. Got a 440 yard par 4 dog leg to the left. Really narrow landing area here because, mind you, it might not be too bad with that wind, but you're almost playing across the fairway. But let's have a look at this dog leg. Yeah, we're moving off to the, whoops, let's move forward here and get down to the green area. And it looks like, let's drop this down here, looks like we've got an elevated green. Those bunkers aren't going to come too much into play. There's quite a lot of slope on this green, so getting this close to the flag, there's not an awful lot going on around the flag. So we want to try and get this nice and close on the approach shot to give us a good opportunity at a birdie. I think we could probably take on a little bit of this tree here. And that's the other thing that gives you the impression that you're close to the ocean, is that you get the sound of the seagulls in the background. Now, having a look at some of the photos online regarding this course, is that there are some really sort of sharp drop-offs and some good vantage points on the course where you actually can look out over San Francisco. So, I mean, I'm only going from what I've seen on the website, so it it does look like has got some really steep slopes. I mean, if we have a look at it from above, if we zoom out, I mean, you can see that it all drops away there. I would imagine those are probably lakes there, and we've either got some more lakes or some ocean over here. So it's it looks like it's pretty well represented. 129 plus 8, 137. Let's take a little off of this. This club should stop fairly sharpish, but we need to make sure we get the yardage right. Is it right? Looks okay. I wanted to get it close. Is it going to check up? Ooh, not good enough. Okay, that's not quite good enough. And it's now a downhill putt. 24 feet. Going to swing a lot. Let's just get this rolling. I just want this to be close, because I don't want it to roll an awful lot past the hole. That's going to leave me about 3 or 4 feet. Another one that's really nice with the well-created cart paths that run alongside the greens, which you would expect to see on any sort of normal public or private course. I mean, that is fantastic. Look, you got the cart path that sort of dissects the tee boxes. Fantastic, really, really fantastic. Going down towards the fairway, really nice. Trees, not too many again. You know, we've got these tall, look like pine trees, or they could be something different to that. I'm not a big expert on the types of trees. But then this really tight entrance to this green, and a pin position that is an absolute nightmare, because there's a huge false front on the front of this green, which means you have to try and navigate that in order to get close to the pin and ensure that you don't roll back off the front of that green. I did slightly push that ball as I was playing it. We should be good in the fairway. Long par 4 this, 494 yards. Haven't checked the yardage on the last couple of holes. Last one, 230 yard par 3, so not a million miles away. 427 this one plays on the scorecard. 494 on this, so huge discrepancy there. Massive discrepancy. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. That is, I mean, that is a big difference. That's 70 yards. That is a long way. Let's get this up, see if we can get it over that false front. Are we going to have enough distance? We're not. That's going to come up woefully short. And that was all about me taking some, or adding some extra loft to that. And now this is going to give me the problem of getting it close to the flag and not spinning back off the green. 12 yards. Needs to spin back a bit, but I don't want it to come back too fierce. That should be okay. Tough putt at 5 feet. But it's in. Alright, managed to salvage par. That's a tough hole at 494 yards. It wouldn't be so much at 427. That was hole number 5. I missed one out. Hole number 5. Sorry, I do apologise. 498, so 493 on there, so that is bang on the money. I do apologise. That was misread by me. And the next hole on the scorecard, par 4, another long par 4, 493, so 2 really long holes back to back. 483 on the scorecard. Let's have a look at this one. Another beautiful looking hole, beautiful looking golf hole. Playing 484, so well within the yardage that's on the scorecard. 9 yards difference. So yeah, spot on, and I do offer my sincere apologies for getting the yardages wrong. I was misreading the hole. According to what I was looking at on the screen and what I was looking at on the website, there were 2 completely different holes. So 12 mile an hour headwind. really narrow with these trees here, but these well-established trees are fantastic because they really do add a really nice element to these holes. It almost looks like you're driving through a narrow avenue of trees. Let's have a look at this one. It's a dog leg, slight dog leg. I would imagine that bunker on the left hand side would have come into play if we didn't have that massive headwind. Let's jump on and have a look at this from above. We've got a green that is massively guarded by bunkers, and the pin is in probably the worst position it could be, back left, so you've got all of this left hand bunker in play. A huge green, but as I say, with that bunker and that headwind, this is going to be a tough hole to attack, so I'm not going to attack it as much as what I would like to. I just want to try and hit the short stuff. That wind is blowing that far too much, and that could be bunker bound. Is it? No, not quite. Got a really fortunate bounce onto the green, but it's probably going to be too much. Is it going to be too much? No, that looks like it's uphill. It's slowing. Ouch. 31 feet, but look at that for a drop. 9 inches. Slowing this one down is going to be a problem. Alright, let's see if we can just get this close. This would be a massively low stroke index, somewhere around 2 or 3. It's a tough hole. I was so reluctant to hit that with any kind of venom. Is that... Oh! I thought it was going to drop for a second there. Just straightened up at the end. It was tracking really nicely, but that's a par. I will take a par on that hole. That hole is fantastically hard. I thoroughly enjoyed playing that hole. Alright, hole number 7, par 3. 289 yards in the game, 295 yards. Nope, par 4, sorry. Short par 4, 295 yards. 295 yards exactly, so that's bang on. 290 at the top of the screen, but 295 playing today, and with a lot of elevation change. Now there's no way we're going to be getting near, oh mind you, I've got an 8-mile-an-hour wind. I'm going to play this one smart. I think I'm going to play this with a 3-wood, but let's get it up with the driver just so we can have a close look at the green. Now with a big tailwind, you would take this one on. You'd definitely take this one on, because if you can get it right up that chute, it will slow on this hill, and if you get onto this upper tier, you should be in a good position. But because we have more of a left to right than we have a tailwind, I'm going to drop this down to probably, yeah, I'm going to drop it down to a 5-wood. Try and keep it as far to the left as I can. And that is just to try and give myself a good angle on the flag. I want it to be even further left than that, because that means I'm going to be playing over the bunker, which I didn't want. So we've got 65 plus 4, we've got 69 yards with a tailwind, with the ball below my feet. Okay, let's go for it. Bite. Oh man, these balls are just not biting at all. That's uphill, but do I really want to chip on these fast greens? That's 4 yards carry. Let's do it. That's okay. Couldn't have got a better result with a flop shot, so let's tap that in for a par. This is a really tough course, but I have to admit I thoroughly am enjoying it. I have to be honest. Okay, let's wait till the end. Let's wait till the end, because this is probably, having had a look on the website, this is probably the signature hole. It's the 208 yard 203 yards on the website. So once again, we're within that 20-yard limit. It's or 20-yard bracket. This is what I would regard as their signature hole, because you've got the clubhouse in the background. It's a fairly long par 3. In fact, it's going to be playing incredibly long today. We've got 205, 212, and it's into an 11-mile-an-hour wind. So this is going to be a tough hole today. I am going to be taking a 5-wood. I'm going to add some loft onto it to try and get it stall in the wind. But let's play this. I think this is a great hole. Guarded by bunkers, and where's the pin? Pin's right in the heart of the green, probably set towards the back a little, so if you do run out, you are going to be swallowed up by that bunker at the back. That ball should come back ever so slightly to the right. The wind has dropped. It was 12 when I actually started talking about the hole. It dropped down to 9. That's gone a little long now. It's held and it's now rolling back, so who knows where this is going to end up. That must be quite a steep slope at the back of that green, because that's rolled back a good 15 feet. And this is actually showing as an uphill putt, which is quite strange. Got trees jumping around in the background there. Left to right, it's a difficult hole, this one, really difficult. 22 feet, come on then, let's see what we can do. Don't want to hit it too hard, but I'm way below the hole and way short. That is what's called hesitancy, that is. That's more like it, little bit more confident. That's a par. I mean, this shows you, this is real testament to the difficulty of this course. I mean, 2 scoring holes, 1 positive, 1 negative, and the rest pars. So it is playing really, really tough. And we've got the closing hole on the front 9, and then we'll give a front 9 verdict. 450 yards on the scorecard. 452, playing 453, so bang on the money there with the yardage again. A long par 4, especially playing into the wind. We seem to have played into the wind an awful lot on this front 9, so does that mean that the back 9 we are playing with the wind in our favour? We are going to have a tailwind. Now, we've got a real drop in elevation there, 15 yards, so that may help us a little bit. But that hole there, if you're playing in from the right, there is such a narrow angle to try and get between those bunkers. But let's get this hole underway. I'm excited to play this because it is the closing hole of the front 9. There we go, that should be in the middle of the fairway. Ball striking off the tee box is pretty good today, so I'm pleased with it. Okay, this approach shot is going to be tough. That ball is slightly above my feet, and the wind's going to be blowing back to the left anyway. 174 less to 172. I might add a bit more onto this club, even though I've been going long anyway. That is not coming back to the left, and I didn't push it either. So that's not going to be great. And the distance was long anyway, and that's when you hope for the ball to roll off the green so you don't have to putt all the way across the green. And it would have been a massively downhill putt. Look at that slope on the right there. Wow, I'm glad I'm not putting that. Really glad. Alright, let's get down to a lob wedge. 13 yards, we need to make sure that this stops. That's too hard. Yeah, that's too hard. That's going to make this a difficult hole to actually pick up the par. Looks like it's going to be uphill. That's going to be my only saving grace, but it is a tough hole. 12 feet uphill, and I've made a real mess of that hole. Good thing it stopped, but that's going to be a bogey on the final hole on the front 9. My That's +1. Look at that. My verdict to the front 9 is that yardage, bang on. Attention to detail, absolutely spot on. Fantastic selection of trees, not too many trees, which is great. They're doing their job. Bunker positions and the actual creation of the bunkers, they look absolutely fantastic. The slopes on the fairways and the green all look really good. No sort of erratic humps and bumps and hollows all over the place. It looks really, really well manicured. It's playing tough, but I like tough. I like tough but fair. So far I am really, really liking it. As I say, I don't feel like I'm blown away by it like I have been with some other courses that I've reviewed, but I've got 9 holes to play. Let's see what it brings. Alright, we're moving on to the 10th hole, and the 10th hole is a 422 yard par 4 on the scorecard. 421 it's playing, 438 at the top, so the 421, yeah, we're definitely within the right yardage bracket there. I want to try and get this to come back in and carry to the far left hand side of the fairway. Which it looks like that is going to do just that job for me. Yeah, and that's going to open up this fairway massively. This was quite a massive dog leg to the left if we have a look at it from above. Yeah, big dog leg to the left, and that's a good sign of a good dog leg for me, is that if you put a tree right on the dog leg, you have to really get the ball in a good position on the fairway to open the green up. Alright, 132 yards. I'm going to take a bit off of this because of the wind. Alright, I need that wind to start blowing. It looks like it is, but it's not going to be enough. Is it going to bite? It did. Is it going to hold? Difficult to believe that that would now roll off the green. It was barely moving. That must mean, yeah, there's quite a bit of a slope there. Now to get this to stop near the hole is going to be a nightmare. Look at those yellow lines. So this is a tough hole. This is there is no denying that. This is a tough hole. The thing that we have in our favour is that it's not too far and the wind is blowing away from the slope. Sorry, not away from the slope, into the slope. That will do. Oh, I was going to say that will do. It was almost a slam dunk. That almost pitched in the hole. That is a horrible putt. And that's another bogey, and that's not going to stop either. What a tough hole. What a tough opening hole to the back 9. That's in for bogey. I am now 2 over par. This is a tough course. That was a horrible green. Really horrible. What do we got now? Par 4, 431 yards. 435, 426, whichever one you look at, that is pretty decent comparison on the yardage. Really good avenue of trees here again. Good change in elevation again as well. So we go down into this gully and then it raises up towards the green. So it's really, really nice. This is. Let's get that swing going properly. There we go. 426 yards. What was about? It was about 430, 421. 11th hole, 431 yards. It's not an incredibly long hole for a par 4, and the winds drop down here. But you do. I mean, you're going to be taking a short iron into the green, so it is a good scoring opportunity. Where the pin is, the bunkers aren't really going to come into play, so you should be able to really attack this flag, being in the back of the green here. 142, 139, 144, wind behind. So I need this to pitch and really, really bite. And again, didn't bite. How much short? You know, you really have to pitch this so short of the hole. Because even at that, with that kind of loft on that club, it just went straight past the flag. And 5 yards is always difficult. That's too long. Oh man, it's so difficult to get it just 5 yards. And the chip shot is not one I'm going to be playing when it's downhill. And that's another drop shot. These holes on this back 9, I think I bogeyed the first 3 holes on this back 9. Well, first 2 holes. First 2 holes of this back 9 I've bogeyed. Wow. Tough stuff, tough stuff. I want to try and get it back now. What have we got here? It should be a par 3 at 199 yards. Sorry, what am I looking at? Hole number 12. Sorry, it's another par 4, 421. The yardage is not right on this hole, so that isn't great. It's a fairly straight away par 4, slight dog leg to the right. Not a lot of problems on this one. Maybe attacking the green depending on the angle that you come in, but we've got some really big bunkers that are flanking the green left and right. Yardage is not right, which bugs me a little bit, I have to be honest. We got the ball away. It's 400 and what was it? At about 450 odd yards in the game. We're going to get this about 310, so it should be about 140 to the flag. Now, I am in such two minds with these distances and yardages at the moment because I'm really struggling to get this ball to check up. I've dropped this down to a 9-iron and I'm hoping that the wind can push it up there and it checks up in time to not go too far past the flag. Now that should check. Yeah, again, didn't check at all. Nothing. Greens are far, far too hard. Not saying that they're far too hard for the, they've been created far too hard. They're far too hard for them to actually have the ball to bite. So it's not a fault on the designer's part. Again, pitched right next to the hole, so that should stop the bleeding. We get a par there. Still sit at 3 over. And we're about to come on to the first par 3 on this back 9. 199 yards it says on the website. 203 yards, bang on the money. 198 at the top, so we are there. We are there, and it is not a problem. But look at the guarding of the bunkers here. Anything short is going to be swallowed up by this front bunker. Anything wayward left, maybe not so much, but you've got this little runoff area which is nice, which means you can chip back onto the green, especially with that pin position there. If the pin position was here, that would be a horrible place to land. But anything wayward right, and you're going to be swallowed up by that bunker there. So, 207 yards. 203. It is 203 yards, but it's into the wind. I'm going to take a bit off of this because I want to try and get this thing to stop. Alright, it's nice and straight. It's also going to be nice and short. Oh, that's going to roll on. That's going to leave me a horribly long putt. Oh, that was so short, it was not even funny. Now, I almost have to putt this off the green. 41 feet. This is going to be a horrible putt. It's away. Anything close here, and I'll be smiling. But that's rolled on a good 10 feet. 6 feet, not as bad as I thought. Slight movement from the left. Okay, pick up a par. Back pars, stop the nosebleed there for a bit. We got 2 par 5s back to back. 670 yards, the 16th. Are you having a laugh? Wow. Okay, let's move on. Hole number 14, 400 yards, par 4, 413 yards on the website. So well within the 20-yard rule. Let's have a look at this bad boy. Okay, really narrow landing area from the tee shot. Dog leg to the left. Let's move forward. Okay, shouldn't give us too much problems. Doesn't look like it's too difficult. Narrow funnel into the green. Going to be punished left and right if you're short. It just seems like there's been an awful lot of holes on this course that I've been playing into the wind, and not so many where I've been playing with a tailwind. I don't know whether I've just sort of noticed it as I've been playing it, but it just seems like most of the holes I've been playing, I'm playing with a headwind. This is going to be a fairly long second here though, because it is uphill. It's not too bad, 128. 128 plus 6, 134 into a headwind. Okay, let's see where this brings us out. Is it starting to move to the left? It is. That should be pretty good if it checks. Yes! It's only taken me 14 holes to actually work it out. But that's cool, man, because that is exactly what, you know, playing a golf course is all about. Unless you actually get to know the firmness of the greens, it's just taken me an awful long time to work it out. And this course is really, really tough. Alright, hole number 15. It is a par 3. It's 157 here on the website. 157 there, 160 on the course today. Elevated green. It's like it looks like a Mesa or a Tour. Short, left, right, or long. You don't want to be left. Sorry, you don't want to be right. You be hitting this, you're going to be rolling down here and off the green. You really need to be hitting the middle of this green somewhere. I say the middle, right sort of here. Or I may try and bring it in with a fade just to try and counteract that slope. But do I really want to try that here? Let's try it a little. Let's see if this works. Is it moving to the right? It is a little bit. That isn't too bad. Isn't too bad. That's still going to give me about 10, 11 feet. 9 feet. That's makeable. I haven't made many of them, mind, but that's a tough hole. That's a real par 3 that requires quite a bit of thought. Wow, that sort of died. I was expecting that to go a lot quicker, but that's a par. I've got 3 holes to play. I've got 2 shots to make up. I'd like to get it back to level par, but look at these 2 par 5s. 670 yards, then followed by quite a short par 5s as par 5 go, but 670 yards, 610 yards on the website. So massive difference in yardage there. That's not right at all. And we've almost got, I mean, this is moving to the left all the time. You can see it here. Let's move this around. You can see it as I move it. I'm swinging that all the time, so it's moving around to the left. So we're going to be playing, trying to hit the right-hand side of the fairway all the way down to the green. And the green is guarded as well, really guarded by these massive, massive bunkers. Wow, this is going to be a tough hole, and I would imagine the stroke index on this will be this is probably stroke index 2, somewhere around there. Need to try and keep this in the fairway. Alright, so we know we're not going to be getting there in 2, so this is just about banging this as many yards down the fairway as we can. Alright, don't know why he's putting us over there. I just want to be putting this up here somewhere. Yeah, nice and straight. Should be in the middle of the fairway. Yeah, that's spot on. And that should give me the perfect angle on that flag. So I'm not playing over the bunker. Nope. But again, uphill into the wind. 133 yards, 145. That's 135 yards. That's 10 mile an hour wind. Let's see if we can get there. It's a par 5, so I really need this to be on the green. It's come up a bit short, but short's not too bad. That must be rolling uphill because that checked up a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. 30 feet, 11 inches uphill. This is all about getting it close. It's going to slow quite drastically now because this is where the slope is, and it stopped, which is good. 4 feet. No! My God, how can it move that far in 4 feet? Please tell me it's not rolling still. So that's a bogey. We're back to 3 over par. So this is a tough course. This is a tough course. This is one opportunity I might have to claw a shot back. 535 yard par 5. 517 here on the scorecard. So again, it is just within. It's 529 on the course, so I'm going to say that's within the 20 yard rule. Let's have a look at this from above. It is as straight as a hole can get if you're looking at it as the crow flies. Fairway moves off to the right and then probably back to the left, but as the crow flies, that's as straight as it gets. It shouldn't pose too many problems off the tee. The wind behind, so it should be close to 300 yards. Yep, 298. We've got a lot of change in elevation here though, 14 yards, so that's 245. It's bang on the money, but I am not going to be playing a 245 club. I want to try and... Oh, this is so difficult. Look at that green. Look at that pin position. That is nuts. That bank on that bunker, and then if you get it like landing there, it's just going to shoot straight off. Wow. I am going to be playing this club though. Or should I play this club? You know what? I have to take this on. I have to try and get on the green here. Is it going to get through that gap? Oh! Oh! Now, that is... I don't think it's going to stop. I think that's going to run all the way out. And that was such a shame, because I thought I'd hit that perfectly. Alright, now it's getting it back and getting it close to the flag that's going to be tough. If it goes long, it is going to roll back towards the flag, which is good. That'll do. Okay. Can we pick up a shot? Back to 2 over. Okay. Not such a tough hole after all. I think mistakes can be made trying to hit that green in 2, much like what I tried. And again, we have another, probably another signature hole for the course, which is the closing hole with the clubhouse on the left there. You can see it if we zoom out. There we go, clubhouse on the left there. And that's, I think, yeah, that's the clubhouse, and that is the 8th hole that you can see just behind, because I remember seeing the clubhouse coming back up. This is 341, 342 on the scorecard, so bang on the yardage, within 1. Not a long par 4, but fraught with danger around the green here. Got a lot of slope on this green as well. As soon as I see red on this green, see we've got red on the side here. We got red at the back of the hole, sorry, at the back of the green. The good thing is that the pin is right in the back of the green, so if we can funnel this up and get it up this slope, we're in the right kind of area. However, it's getting it up there. Let's see where a driver's going to put us. We got the wind behind. I am gonna use this wind. I'm gonna try and get this as far down there as I can. I need that ball to turn a little, because I started it out over the left rough. That is not good because it's not going to stop. I didn't want to be playing that out of the rough, so not great. 55 yards. Let's take some off of it, not a lot, because it is going to roll out. And we're not at 100%. We've got the wind. There's so many factors involved in this one here, but I want to try and get this close. I'd like to pick up another shot here. Wind didn't have any effect. Come on. Roll up. Roll up. Get in the hole! Oh! I thought that was going to be almost perfect. That is a tap-in birdie, and that means we finish the round at 1 over par. Round of 72 on a par 71. Let's get to the review screen, and I will take a moment just to gather my thoughts. What did I think to the course? It is tough. It's a tough course. I like that. I like tough. As I said after 9, I like tough, but I like fair as well, and I think this is both. I think because it's not the yardages, and it's not the dog legs, and it's not the technicality of the course that makes it tough. It's the firmness and the speed of the greens that make this tough, and that is the bottom line. And I think that using only those two things to make a course tough is not one of my favourite things. I like all round, so maybe if you turn the firmness down to medium and the green speed fast, that's perfectly fine by me, or vice versa. Turn the green speed down, or the green speed is fast and the firmness is medium, or vice versa, or whatever. I forget what I say now. Having one of those two, but having both of them makes the course really, really tough. If it's set up this way, then kudos for you to, kudos to you for getting it right. I just think using some more of the, the course it's not a technical course. You have to think about it from a green firmness and green speed perspective, but it isn't that technical a course. I thoroughly enjoyed playing it. However, it didn't excite me. I didn't really, I wouldn't go back and play this course again in a hurry. And for that reason, don't worry, I'm not going to give it a 7. I just want to see where this line is. I'm going to give it just an 8. An 8, in fact, I will give it an 8.1. Because I think it's better than an 8. But for me, it's a really accurate representation. I just think just tweaking some of the aspects of it could make it more enjoyable. But that's my score. I'm going to give it an 8.1. And guys, if you've been watching on Twitch, thank you very much for tuning in. If you've been watching it on YouTube and you enjoyed the video, give it a good thumbs up. I do appreciate your support on this and other videos that I post on YouTube, so thank you very much for that. Thank you for all the comments that I've received on some of the videos that I've been posting lately. If you'd like to see more like this, then drop some comments in the box below. I will be carrying on with the real course review series because I am thoroughly enjoying it, and as I said in the beginning of the video, I do have quite an extensive list to get through at this point. If you've yet to subscribe to the channel and you enjoyed this and you'd like to see more videos like this, then the subscription button should be bottom right. But until next time, guys, take care. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.